Okay, so good morning guys. So I'm going to go ahead and record this for today. Hopefully I can get on YouTube Live tomorrow, so then you guys can follow along on real time. But for the meantime, we'll just go ahead and record and I'll post these on YouTube. You should have your Holes book. If not, I sent your parents the link to get it online. And you will have assignments that will go hand in hand on this. They will be posted on Edmodo. So please make sure you're checking in with that. One of the comprehension questions that you have and you might want to think about for today's assignment is, what sort of mood does the book put you in? So the book puts you in so far, and why? So in the beginning on chapter 1, we hear the setting of Camp Green Lake, which is where the main character is staying. Okay, so I want you to think about it. Maybe even rewatch this video after you've watched it the first time and close your eyes and think about what it would feel like to be in this camp. Let's keep in mind that the character is at a detention center, and a detention center is basically a mini jail. So I used to work at one like this. It kind of reminds me of the setting that we had out there. So it was very dry. There wasn't a lot to do around there, but the kids were well taken care of, as opposed to what happens in this book. The author is Louis Sachar. It looks like Satcher, but it's not. So Sachar, if you can remember anything, it reminds me with cracker, or rhymes with cracker. So when you're looking back at him or they talk about anything that has to do with the author, that's how you say his name. He was inspired to write this book. It took him about 18 months to write it, and basically he lived in Texas, so it was super hot, and that's kind of where he got the idea. He said he kept this book a secret for the whole time that he wrote it, so he didn't tell anybody he was writing it, not even his family, and then he finally came out with the book. So let's go ahead and start. We're looking at part 1, you are entering Camp Green Lake. There is no lake at Camp Green Lake. There once was a very large lake here, the largest lake in Texas, that was over 100 years old. Now it is just a dry, flat wasteland. There used to be a town of Green Lake as well. The town shriveled and dried up along with the lake and the people who live there. During the summer, the daytime temperature hovers around 95 degrees in the shade, if you can find any shade. There's not much shade in a big, dry lake. The only trees are 2 old oaks on the eastern edge of the lake. A hammock is stretched between those 2 trees, and a log cabin stands behind that. The campers are forbidden to lie in the hammock. It belongs to the warden. The warden owns the shade. Out on the lake, rattlesnakes and scorpions find shade under rocks and in the holes dug by the campers. Here's a good rule to remember about rattlesnakes and scorpions. If you don't bother them, they won't bother you. Usually. Sometimes a camper will try to be bitten by a scorpion or even a small rattlesnake. Then he will get to spend a day or 2 recovering in his tent instead of having to dig a hole out in the lake. But you don't want to be bitten by a yellow-spotted lizard. That's the worst thing that can happen to you. You will die a slow and painful death. Always. If you get bitten by a yellow-spotted lizard, you might as well go into the shade of the oak trees and lie in the hammock. There is nothing anyone can do to you anymore. All right, and that concludes chapter 1. So go ahead and, like I said, you can rewatch this video if you want to, and start on your assignment. Have a good morning, guys. Bye.